Welcome to Dumbass News for October 29th, 2023, where as always, we're giving you news of the dumbasses, by the dumbasses, and for the dumbasses. I'm James V, one of your co-hosts here with my buddy here.
I'm Ralphie G, number one dumbass on the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I think we're both 50% dumbass. Perfect. We're right there.
We're equal dumbass partners.
Whoa. Well, anyway, I know it's been 1 or 2 weeks since the last time we got together, so let's see what we got in for the dumbass news of October 29th.
All right, so the first thing, and this is really more of nightmare news, but the Marine Corps has been testing this crazy robot dog thing, and they recently put like a training rocket launcher on it. I'm going to put training in air quotes, where it doesn't like shoot anything, but it is a rocket launcher. So click forward.
Oh my.
Here's a picture of it. The rocket launcher is like as big as the robot, and it's like meant to hit a tank. I'm sure everyone can tell that this is just a great idea that has no possible flaws or things that could go wrong with it. I mean, this doesn't concern you at all, right, Ralph?
No, I think this fully proves that we are living in an episode of Black Mirror. Because I am 90% sure that there was an episode where there was these robots that looked like these dog things, and their only intent was killing the human race. So I think this is step one in maybe 4 steps that lead to that conclusion.
The thing too is like in the Terminator movies, right? I think the Terminator thing starts as like just like a computer program, and there's no like robots or anything, and then it builds the robots, like, but in the actual timeline we're in, it's like we build the robots.
Yeah,
Because we're that smart.
it everybody died. That's how it went in Terminator. And I'm telling you, in 10 years, we're not going to be laughing at things like this anymore.
I do wish that they put like an expression or something on this robot. Like if you're not looking at it, it's got 4 little eyes. It kind of looks like an Othello board or something, like little cameras in the front. How about a smiley face? How about dog ears? Make it a little
Yeah,
bit cute. Like,
decorated a little bit. Have you ever seen one of these like dog robots in person?
no, you probably have because you live in Boston. And I think this is a Boston Dynamics robot.
Yeah, that's from Boston Dynamics. And the place where I've seen it, it's so strange. I was at an improv comedy show, and probably halfway through the improv, they were just like, "Oh, I got a new dog," and one of these robots comes out. Probably, if it was standing upright, my height. Like, it was a big robot, and the way it was moving was so unsettling to me. It was like too realistic that like I was like, I feel like I need to leave. Like, this is very scary to me. That thing could take me out.
Have you seen those videos where they're testing like the stability? This is a small robot here, like, maybe like knee height, but they have those bigger ones that are like you were saying. Have you ever seen the videos where they're like testing if they can stay balanced by like kicking them really hard? And then they
No.
they kind of go to the side, and then they sort of balance themselves out. I'm like, you are training that robot that humans are a bunch of dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I never really thought of how robots would feel about quality assurance tests in the future, but they won't be happy about it.
These episodes are going to be in their training data somewhere, and
Yeah.
not going to be taken lightly.
It is funny to think as software engineers, we're taught to test the code from every angle, and that includes the asshole angle. So that means when these machines have a mind of their own, they're going to be like, "This guy's an asshole," and what's our response going to be? "Oh, we were just testing it. Don't worry, we're just testing you."
At least this thing doesn't seem to like actuate the rocket itself. It has some kind of little thing on top, but still, you saw that thing running around, you'd be like, "Oh my god!"
I
It's
would
like it
run in the
also gives me
opposite
strong
direction.
like Metal Gear Solid vibes. Also,
Yeah, yeah. And something that we didn't even touch on, what happens if someone hacks into one of these things? Now it's like a national emergency. Everybody get to your bomb shelters.
And there's going to be a bunch of them probably. Like, so there's a rush. There's some different countries making these things, which is also great news. If you go to the next, there's like a Russian version. Um, this thing, which I have to admit is a lot cuter. So it's got this like black, ninja suit on.
Yeah.
Just in time for Halloween. And it has those same, like, I think this might be the same robot actually, but it has those same sensors on the front, but because they have like the ninja suit that's only showing like two of them, it looks like a little face.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean, right? This is a lot more endearing, and I'm less afraid of this thing.
And in true Russian fashion, I am almost positive that is a bigger gun. That is, that is a bigger rocket launcher on this one.
It looks scarier, at least, yeah. And it
Yeah,
has like a camera thing on the side. It's like, ugh.
and back to just this dog robot. I don't know why, but probably the scariest thing is that these things can jump and like very successfully. And that's a weird way to describe a jump, but if you picture a robot jumping, you picture clumsiness. You picture it's gonna fall. No, this thing jumps like I jump, maybe more graceful, but uh and I'm just picturing this thing jumping up some stairs to get to an enemy. Oh, I am scared. I am scared already.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Boston Dynamics has that robot Atlas that's like a human-sized robot, and whenever they show it doing like new obstacle courses, like it usually looks fake. It's like this is not
Yeah.
real. Like that thing, because that thing weighs like 500 pounds or something, and it'll do like hops and it'll do a backflip, and you're like, my God.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like the people who make the robot, they can't do those hops. They can't do those backflips. Like, I don't know. I don't know the future that we're creating. I am also
Yeah.
famously, for a software engineer, I am a Luddite. I do not trust or use new technology a lot of the time. A lot of times my friends are like, dude, I got this new thing on the phone. And I'm like, oh, I got like a very old phone. And they're like, you're a software engineer. I'm like, exactly. Dumbasses like me are making this software. I don't want to use it.
Yeah. I also just don't really like messing around with tech that much when I'm not building it. Like I tire of it, like I find a lot more like novelty in like sort of like dumb things, dumb little
Yeah.
mechanical things.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to find the bugs in my software. I'm not finding the bugs in yours.
Yeah, really, I think what they should do is use these weaponized Roombas. So I've seen a bunch of, or another name for them is of course the Doomba. Um, these are cheap, inexpensive. You just buy them off the shelf and attach, weapons of your choosing. I've also seen them with like a chainsaw or like a
Yep.
flamethrower attached to them.
And
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 this is just like scorched earth military strategy. It just wanders around the battlefield, and anything it encounters, it destroys and cleans
yeah.
things up at the same time.
And to those of you not watching the video or just listening to it, what we got here in two pictures is a Roomba. In the first picture, there are 6 knives duct taped to the top of the Roomba. And in the second picture, there is a handgun duct taped to the Roomba. And it's almost something you would see in like a episode of South Park. I could see Cartman creating this as a response to those robots we just saw.
Imagine if this thing like got out, like you just like you hooked it up as a funny thing, and then you let it around your house, and then later you're like, I can't find the Roomba. I don't know where it is. You see it on the news, like SWAT team has been dispatched to down the street from you because someone made this thing.
I'm just picturing the court case where it's like um, somebody broke into my house and the Roomba shot him. And it's like, did the Roomba have a license to carry a weapon? We don't know.
It's like, yeah, it's like I did, and I conferred it to this robot that.
I think it'd get hairy really quickly.
It'd be the case of the century right there.
So, for our next news story here, it's really a question that I'm posing to us in the audience: is this a dumbass restaurant, or are the children dumbasses? Let me explain the story. Restaurant charges an extra €40 to adults unable to parent their children. Angry parents are urging diners to avoid the restaurant at all costs, with one customer claiming they were slapped with hidden fees even though their children were well behaved. The menu adds no respect, no service. For some diners, they found out the hard way, saying they were sprung with charges as they tried to settle their bill. So, James, the question I'm asking you: where is the limit on this? Like, when is it okay to charge these parents a little extra money for their children?
So I mean, I worked in restaurants a few years when I was in college, and I love kids, but whenever I would see, or like whenever I'd get asked to bring out a high chair somewhere, I was like, oh fuck. I mean, at the least of which, when a kid eats, usually when a kid eats at a high chair at a restaurant, there's going to be the most catastrophic mess left behind, like under that area, like just unbelievable. Where you're going to be like sweeping up food like from the floor and then trying to get it out of the carpet, like.
Oh,
And they
oh,
have those like stick vacuums. I don't know if you ever use one of these things, like a stick vacuum that it doesn't have power. It just sort of, when you roll it, it picks things up and they work pretty good. But like they don't pick up like spaghettios and like.
yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking. And were you a busboy in when you worked in restaurants and whatnot?
I had a couple different jobs. It was mostly a busboy. I did a little bit of waiting tables too. But
So it would land on you when these kids made a mess.
I was that guy. Yeah.
Oh, oh. Now here's a question. Let's say we instill this restaurant charge, which it looks like some, or at least one restaurant has. Your kid makes a mess, you get a cleanup fee on your check. What about if the parents say, "You give me the broom, and before I leave, I'm going to clean the area where my child made the mess"? Then no fee? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe. It's not even clear if it's about like the kids making a mess or if they're just like, I was annoyed at your child's behavior, which is a weird thing to charge for. Like if
Yeah,
you like make a mess, then that makes more sense. But it's like if it's just like your kid made noise, I'm gonna charge you $40. It seems a little skeezy by the restaurant. I don't know.
yeah, no, I agree with that. I was just assuming the mess, but I think you're right. There are angry people out there that would just be like, "Your child interrupted my good time." Like, think about people on an airplane that just get pissed off when there's a baby crying. And it's like, "I paid for this ticket. I didn't pay to hear your kid cry." It's like, dude, chill out.
Yeah. I always think like that when I have kids, like I won't go to restaurants with them and I won't take them on planes. People say like, well, you got to take them to your family to visit them. And I'm like, I have the kid, they can come to me. Like, but I know it won't work out that way. So I do feel
Yeah.
for people. This story also reminds me of there's been a thing in San Francisco, I guess, recently where some of the restaurants were starting to say, if you come to brunch and you throw up, we will charge you like 40 or $50. Um, which
Ooh.
I think has a lot of backstory of like, does that happen a lot? Like, do people just go, and where are they throwing up? Have you ever like thrown up from brunch or?
I never have. I am famously, I've never thrown up from drinking alcohol, because I hate throwing up that much that I will stop a few drinks prior to that limit. But I have had friends, uh, they're still friends, that have gotten sick at, I would call it breakfast, but I guess it's a brunch. It's like at 11 a.m. Um, but I guess they weren't getting sick at the table. Like, they got to the bathroom. It wasn't a mess. It might have smelled, which is really gross actually. But don't you feel like these type of rules should, you know, have a, we should see what the situation was before we just slap this fee on everybody.
Yeah, they do seem a little like rigid. The only time I've done something like this was one time I went to Vegas for my friend's bachelor party, up all
Yeah,
night drinking.
Vegas.
I usually don't throw up like the night of drinking, but the next day I'll be very sick.
Yeah.
I went to brunch with everyone. Um, I thought I was doing fine, and then the food showed up, and it was actually like delicious looking food, but the sight of it and the smell of it made me really sick. Like, and so I like asked the waiter, like, "Oh, excuse me, where's the bathroom?" This is in the Mirage, I think, and he was like, "Oh, it's in the casino." Like, like the restaurant doesn't have one. It's in the casino.
Oh.
So I was like panicking, like, "Oh no." It's like 10:30 in the morning or something. I walk out of the thing and I'm walking trying to find the bathroom, and I was walking on, like on this line in the carpet, like in front of all of the casino dealers, like in front of a bunch of blackjack tables. And it's the mornings, they're not busy, so they're just standing there like this, waiting for customers. And I throw up everywhere in front of them and a bunch of other people. And then I did the bad thing. I just kept going. I just kept, because I was like, there's nothing I could do about that. So I just kept going.
Wow.
Like,
And
so
here's the
they should have charged me $40. I wouldn't have been upset.
Yeah, but here's the crazy thing. You were in Vegas. They've seen that multiple times before.
I probably wasn't the only person to do that day, but I did feel really stupid because it was like there was all those people standing there like with nothing to do, and there's it was like being judged by a bunch of people.
And please tell me you went back to the table and ate some of that delicious food right afterward.
No, man, I bailed to my room.
Yeah, that's
I
that's
was like,
probably the
I'm out of
smart
here.
call.
Yeah, I texted the people at the table like, I just threw up everywhere. LOL. I'm going back to the room. Sorry. I'll pay you later.
That's really funny because usually if my friends say I threw up everywhere, usually it's just a saying, "Oh, I threw up everywhere." You meant it. It went everywhere.
It did. And it was the worst because, like, again, I couldn't like get to that bathroom fast enough. So it's like, what are you gonna do? Like, it was far away. It was probably at least like a couple hundred feet away.
Yeah, part of that is on the restaurant, you know? Uh strategically locate yourself closer to a bathroom. Not just for this situation, but like, people need the bathroom when you're at an eating establishment. Be prepared.
That's how Vegas is, though. A lot of them just they don't got it.
No, no. And it is funny. In true Vegas fashion, you need to walk through the casino to get anywhere, even to get to the bathroom from your restaurant.
Yep.
Uh, but James, I got another story here for you. And this dumbass people justified charity shop. I say, in my opinion. But there's a charity shop in Swansea that asks people not to donate their sex toys. Bernardo's customers have been asked to refrain from donating used and unused marital aids as they aren't quite the sort of toys we're looking for. And I'd like to highlight the used aid. Who out here is donating their used sex toys?
Who donates anything like that? Like, people are crazy. Like,
Like, I think
I
he
don't even want to imagine like what kind of things are being donated, but it's just like that store. I mean, it's a charity shop. Like, they don't sell stuff like that. I don't know what people are thinking. Like,
like, who would want, like, I'm pretty sure even Smokey the Bear, maybe not Smokey the Bear. I'm thinking, who's the mascot that's like the poster child for recycling? I think whoever that person is would even say no to this. It's like, no, throw that in the trash. We need to burn that. The atmosphere could take that. That's known.
yeah,
That's built into the
even
calculation.
even Captain Planet would be like, send that to the landfill, kids.
Yeah, Captain Planet, throw that one in the ocean. We don't want to see it.
Oh, that's crazy.
And
That's
it's also
horrifying that it was happening enough that they felt like they needed to like tell the world, like, hey, can you guys cut it out? Like, it's not like a isolated occurrence.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, usually when somebody is getting rid of some of these toys, usually it's discreetly. You sneak it into like a neighbor's trash barrel. These people are going in broad daylight to a charity shop and is like, somebody else might want to use this. Here you go.
Yeah, really trying to save the planet there. Where is Swansea?
I'm not sure. Some of these some of these stories were definitely international, kind of like the last story we had 40 euro. But if I consult the Google machine really quick, do some research over here, it is a town in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
I
not
had no
not
idea.
so much international as a bunch of massholes donating their sex toys.
You know, I shouldn't be too. You know what? I am a little surprised actually that uh, massholes like that would try to donate their sex toys instead of just use them and throw them in a parking lot when they're done with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like this story has more Albuquerque energy than Massachusetts. But
Yeah, yeah.
I
A
guess
lot
you
of
guys win
sex.
this. You guys win this round for having more crazy people.
And really quick, now that we're on the sex toy chat, I need to tell you, um, where is this going? No,
Yeah.
in my town when we were growing up, there was this sex shop called Amazing, which I think it is a chain. Uh, I'm not sure if it's gotten out to New Mexico, but when you were 18, you'd go to Amazing just to be like, whoa, look at all the porn. What's going on? And probably the weirdest thing at Amazing was a very large, very, I guess I'll just, it was a dildo, very large. And it was called the Great American Challenge. And I'm talking, it was probably like 6 feet tall. And and I think that describes Amazing perfectly.
That's
It
a
was this,
statue.
yeah, it looked like a statue. Looked like a statue. It was marketed as a challenge, but to tell you the truth, if anyone tried to take that, you're in a world of hurt.
Duh. Yeah, we have one here called I think it's still around. The Castle
Ooh,
Superstore, and it looks like a big castle. And it's also in like kind of a sketchy part of town, like just a sketchy little block it's on. So it's like you couldn't pay me to go in there. Like I wouldn't want to walk in and out of the parking lot either. Like Jesus.
it's never in a good side of town. You always have to go through some scum to get
That's
to.
true, huh? It's not like in the suburbs. Like
Yeah, it's not like there's a Barnes and Noble and a Chipotle and your sex shop.
and then amazing, you know.
uh, but James, you want to take us to another news story here?
Yeah, this story is like Australian to the core. So this Australian guy was kind of out by a river, I guess, and a kangaroo came and attacked his dog. Um, really horrifying fashion, and he ended up having to fight it. There's a lot of funny quotes from this guy in the story. One of the things was he was like, and there's a good video of it too, but he was like, the muscles on this thing. I was like, this thing's just got out of jail or something.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Yeah, and if you go ahead to the thing, like um it's terrifying. I've never seen a kangaroo that looks like this. Like
Oh my god, that kangaroo has been to the gym every day.
so
Holy
in that one picture, like you can see it attacking the dog. He said it was trying to drown the dog. It was like sitting on its back, which is
wow.
insane. So in the video, he like comes up to it and starts yelling at it, yelling, Australian stuff like "Oi!" Like you better let go of my dog. And it turns out this guy's like um, a MMA fighter or something. Um,
Yeah.
so he finally comes up to it, and then I don't know if he hit the kangaroo first or if the kangaroo hit him, but I don't know if you can see the kangaroo has like claws, and it like
Yeah.
swiped him, like swipe, and knocked his phone out of his hand, and so then his phone goes in the river, and so then you don't like see anything anymore. Um, But I don't know.
That's
He got in like a little
terrifying.
scuffle with it, and then the kangaroo kind of went away, and then he took his dog, and his dog was okay. And he had a few other dogs, and
This kangaroo is terrifying. He must bench 500 pounds. Like, and it is funny. And I'm happy you gave me the background of that story, because the first picture could, like, if somebody told you, look at this picture of a dog and a kangaroo playing in a river, I would believe you. Like, that could be a playful picture. But now that you mentioned that they were fighting, that dog looks terrified. And that kangaroo looks like he's like, what up, bitch? Like, look at him.
some scary shit. It's like an average kangaroo is like bigger and stronger than like Mr. Universe or some shit. It's just like, and they have big claws.
Yeah, I didn't know kangaroos had claws like that. And on top of that, this kangaroo arms are huge, claws are huge. But what are kangaroos known for? That they jump everywhere. They're not skipping leg day. Now, in this picture, we can't see his legs, but his legs must be massive.
For real. Yeah, he's like
Whew.
in the river. It's funny, like I would not think of being scared of a kangaroo necessarily. Like this is the first time I've thought like, damn, kangaroos are scary. Like normally it's like, oh, kangaroo, like it carries little babies around in its pouch, like blah blah blah. Like
Yeah,
this thing is like the new fuel for my nightmares.
yeah. And I'm now I might be seeing things, but in that second picture, I'm pretty sure he has a six pack or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hint of a six pack at least.
But
Holy
yeah,
crap.
the video is worth a watch. It's very Australian. It's just classic. The guy doesn't really get real stressed out, which is amazing to me. Like for most people, this would be like an insane encounter, and they'd be like yelling and breathing hard. And it seems real casual for him, which I find amusing. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, I would have to weigh how new is this dog? How attached am I to this dog? If I just if I've had the dog for a few days and a kangaroo took it, I'd be like, fuck it. I lost the dog. But
I was surprised the other dogs weren't jumping in because I think he has like 3 or 4 of them on the riverbank. It's like I was surprised. I don't even think they were barking or anything, which is weird. But
in shock. They were in shock. They've seen this kangaroo before. Mr. Joey the kangaroo right here.
yep.
Wow. Do you want to take us through the new Florida Man games?
Yeah, I'm real excited. I think the first of these are supposed to be in February in St. Augustine, Florida. So I don't know what all the games are going to be yet, but they're going to have a competition for Florida Man. Okay. And if you don't know, Florida Man is this thing that's like Florida people are crazy in the news. Like there's a game of you Google your birthday and Florida Man, and you just look at like good Florida Man news stories and you pick your favorite, and that's your Florida Man persona. But these games they're doing out are going to be they have an evading arrest obstacle course where you jump through. You have to like run through backyards, and it says being chased by real police officers, which I wasn't sure like what that means. Like on duty cops in uniforms, or just like people that used to be cops, or that's weird. Some kind of thing where you're in like a wind booth, like a wind tunnel, and there's money flowing around, and it's like a Category 5 hurricane cash grab.
Yep.
Beer belly wrestling. I was surprised I didn't see anything about alligators, but I'm sure that'll come in there somewhere. I hope this is televised, and I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it needs to be televised. This is like the next Survivor. Like reality TV wants this.
Seriously.
And that first story about being chased by real police officers, this kind of reminds me of, have you ever read or seen the Stephen King book The Running Man?
Nope.
So in The Running Man, it's like a not a post-apocalyptic, but like a parallel world where there's this reality show contest called The Running Man, and if you sign up for it, you become like number one on most wanted lists by police officers, and if you could survive 30 days, you get all these riches. but police officers are like after you and they will kill you. And part of the thing in the book is like nobody's ever survived the Running Man. And for some reason, that first contest, the evading arrest obstacle course, reminds me of the Running Man to a T almost.
It's like the running Florida man.
uh, and the category 5 cash grab, this kind of reminds me of when you're at like a bowling alley and they put you in like the little chamber and it's fake money and the wind comes on. But something tells me that this is going to be much different.
Yep. I mean, imagine how much a mullet will blow around in a chamber like that.
Hey,
It's gonna be glorious. This is gonna be like the greatest thing in the history of television. I hope.
and then the beer belly wrestling. I think that one speaks for itself. That's just good entertainment for all.
I don't know. I might end up skipping that one. Let's see.
And Vegas is going to get involved. Like what are the odds on these people winning? It's going to be huge.
Maybe they could set this up on the strip like they did for F1 racing. Have like the obstacle course, you have to swim through the Venetian pond and then, climb up like the Paris Eiffel Tower. And
I would love that. I'm telling you, there's potential with this whole idea.
It's got legs.
But James, I think that's all the news stories we have for this week.
Yep, it's been a good couple of weeks. The news has been kind to us. There's plenty of dumbasses and dumbassery to be found.
Yeah. But until next week, this is Ralphie G.
And James V. Signing off.
Signing off. Thank you.
See you.